So the averages are now good for us, meaning the unemployment average is low, the economic growth rate by our standards, which is a little bit below 3%, is good. Below those averages is a different picture, and this is important because those averages consist of very wealthy and not wealthy people. I think both the United States and China have an issue with the wealth disparity and that. So when we talk about the economy, so the averages are now good for us, meaning the unemployment average is low, the economic growth rate by our standards, which is a little bit below 3%, is good, and stability exists, and we restructured some of our debt. That is all good. Below those averages is a different picture, and this is important because those averages consist of very wealthy and not wealthy people. So they're misleading. To give you an example, the top 0.1% of the population's net worth in the United States is equal to the bottom 90% combined. That bottom 60 or 80% of the population has not had income growth, has bad conditions, rising death rates from opiates and from suicides and things. It's a uselessness. The middle class is being affected in various ways. So while we look at the average, we have that issue. In my opinion, that's a big issue, not only for the United States. It is an issue for China because the nature of what's happened in terms of that capitalism, or what we might say is market economy with Chinese characteristics, necessarily is producing that particular dynamic. So in both countries, it is something to be conscious about so that opportunity and wealth is shared, because for all countries in history, for China, for the United States, if you have one budget, in other words, one pie to carve up, and there is a gap between the rich and the poor, and you have a downturn, there'll be a lot of arguing, a lot of conflict of how to divide that pie. So you can't let the economy go down, and you have to deal with that disparity so that you have cohesiveness. Cohesiveness is an important issue both in the United States and China.